Yo guys, what if Vegeta dropped into the Narutoverse right in a blood mist death? It gets absolutely insane. Support our VFX via the PayPal link below, and let's dive into the boiling apex.
Deep inside the Capsule Corporation, a brutal artificial gravity crushes everything at 500 times the normal weight of Earth. The Saiyan Prince is pushing his limits, turning pure agony into a stepping stone for absolute, unrivaled power. But ordinary machines were never built to contain the raw, explosive evolution of a Saiyan warrior. Every torn muscle fiber screams for mercy, yet his pride demands nothing less than absolute perfection. He punches through the very fabric of the air, generating shockwaves that threaten to rip the facility apart. The energy builds, condensing into a localized storm of pure, unadulterated life force. He is no longer just training. He is forcing his body to ascend beyond the legendary Super Saiyan state. The billion-dollar machinery simply cannot calculate the sheer volume of energy being unleashed inside its walls. Muscle mass expands. Power multiplies exponentially. The prince has broken the ceiling of his own limits. This is the pinnacle of his pride. A terrifying new height of absolute destruction. But the laws of physics inside the chamber are buckling under the weight of his ascending ki. To him, the collapsing room isn't a threat. It's just a disappointing piece of garbage tech. The overwhelming gravity mixed with boundless ki creates an impossible anomaly. A literal tear in reality. For the first time, the Saiyan Prince senses something his fists cannot instantly destroy. Space itself fractures. A quantum black hole rips open right in the center of the chamber. The gravitational pull of this cosmic glitch is infinitely stronger than the room's simulation. Even the might of an ascended Saiyan struggles against the raw, unfiltered fury of a collapsed dimension. He refuses to be swallowed. He burns his ki, trying to overpower the vortex.
You think this cheap parlor trick can hold the Prince of all Saiyans?
But the universe doesn't care about royal blood. The tear expands, devouring everything in its path. His footing slips. The immense suction strips away his control over his own movements. A rare moment of disbelief washes over him. He is completely powerless against the rift. In the blink of an eye, the prince is swallowed by the glitch, ripped from his reality. The portal snaps shut, leaving behind a heavily destabilized, overloaded reactor core. With no one left to absorb the excess energy, the entire facility goes into meltdown. The explosion wipes out the lab, leaving only smoking ruins and an empty, echoing silence. Vegeta is gone. Vanished entirely from the face of his universe without a single trace. He didn't just leave his training session. He has forcefully crashed the borders of another reality. Plunging through the abyss of the multiverse, he speeds toward a world governed by entirely different laws. The shinobi world is completely unprepared. An apex predator is about to drop from their sky. Welcome to the shinobi world. The land of water is drowning in blood, and Mei Terumi is being pushed to the absolute brink. Every strike from the monster of the hidden mist drains her stamina. The air is thick with the suffocating scent of death. Kisame isn't just fighting her. He's playing with his food, fully aware that no reinforcements are coming to save her. She prepares to lay her life on the line with one final jutsu. But fate has an entirely different script written today. Suddenly, the atmospheric pressure vanishes. The gravity shifts. A terrifying anomaly rips right through the sky above them. The fabric of reality fractures like cheap glass, exposing the dark, chaotic void of the multiverse.
What the hell is going on up there? Did the sky just shatter?
Whatever is bleeding through that rift, it possesses a chakra signature unlike anything this world has ever felt. The portal gives way. And from the void, an apex predator drops straight into their reality. He falls like a golden comet, burning through the atmosphere with a kinetic force that defies all logic. You can literally feel the heat radiating off the screen as this absolute powerhouse closes in on the ground. The deadliest assassins of the mist are instantly reduced to mere bystanders bracing for a natural disaster. There is nowhere to run. The sheer scale of the incoming impact freezes them in their tracks. Boom! A magnitude 8 earthquake instantly sweeps through the crater, vaporizing solid rock into pure dust. The shockwave doesn't just shake the ground, it physically reshapes the entire geography of the battlefield in seconds. The raw kinetic force treats an S-rank Akatsuki member like a mere ragdoll in a hurricane. Mei is violently pushed back, her deadly duel completely erased by the arrival of this unknown entity. As the catastrophic tremors finally fade away, a haunting silence falls over the ruined landscape. The golden light vanishes, leaving the two shinobi staring into the abyss of the dust cloud, paralyzed by anticipation. Is it a new tailed beast? A forbidden jutsu? Mei's tactical mind is frantically trying to process the impossible. Even Kisame, a man who laughs in the face of death, feels a cold shiver run down his spine. And from the ashes of the crater, a figure emerges. Completely intact. Not a single bone broken. The Prince of all Saiyans has returned to his base form, looking more annoyed than injured after a planetary impact. He doesn't see a battlefield. He doesn't see two deadly assassins. He just sees a ruined workout session. His senses immediately pick up the difference in the atmosphere. The pressure is wrong. Everything feels terribly light. To a god, the presence of mortals is barely background noise. He completely dismisses them.
You gotta be kidding me! The gravity on this pathetic rock is a total joke! What a waste of time!
Mei is absolutely stunned. This monster just fell from the sky, blew up a mountain, and is complaining about gravity. But Kisame isn't one to be ignored. His killer instinct flares up, demanding blood from this disrespectful stranger. The ultimate standoff is set. The rules of the shinobi world are about to be completely rewritten by pure, unadulterated power. One look. That's all it takes for the prince to evaluate the strongest warriors of this world and label them as trash. Kisame and Mei are about to learn a terrifying lesson. In the face of a Saiyan, there are no ninja tactics. There is only survival. Recognizing the absurd threat before him, Kisame wastes no time and initiates his deadliest area of effect water release technique. Massive amounts of chakra erupt into the soil, turning the dry volcanic ground into a subterranean pressure cooker.
Water release! Great exploding water collapsing wave!
A whole inland ocean erupts out of nowhere, engulfing the entire barren valley in a terrifying, freezing deluge. Mei scrambles to higher ground as Kisame turns the arid battleground into his ultimate aquatic hunting domain. The water dome seals shut, transforming the landscape into a massive underwater prison designed to drown any air-breathing target. Without even bothering to dodge, the Saiyan prince lets the crushing weight of the Arctic wave hit him head-on. Drenched, freezing, and submerged under tons of water, most mortals would panic and struggle for air. But for Vegeta, being drenched in cold water isn't a life-threatening crisis. It's an unforgivable insult. A spark ignites in the depths. The prince's pride has been thoroughly provoked. Beneath the surface, an absurd reservoir of energy begins to boil, ready to detonate. The smallest fraction of Saiyan ki touches the freezing water, instantly altering the laws of thermodynamics. Super Saiyan activated. Pure, fiery ki bursts forth, completely overriding the aquatic domain. Millions of tons of water begin to instantly boil, unable to withstand the blinding heat of his power. From the outside, Kisame's water prison transforms into a glowing, superheated bomb ready to detonate. Boom! A beam of absolute ki tears through the sea, shattering the water dome into a million pieces. Liquid matter turns to gas in a fraction of a second. The ocean doesn't just drain, it literally vanishes. The scalding thermal blast hits Kisame like a furnace door swinging wide open. Mei watches in complete horror as a jutsu that took massive chakra reserves is erased in 3 seconds flat. The entire valley turns into a giant steam bath, blanketed in a thick, suffocating fog. Not a single drop remains. The soil is left completely scorched, drier than an arid desert. Through the blinding fog, a glowing golden silhouette stands tall, undisturbed and victorious. Steam rolls off his bare shoulders as his Super Saiyan body burns brighter than a furnace. The pressure of his aura creates a zone of absolute zero moisture around him. The prince wipes the remaining water from his face, his patience completely depleted.
Who the hell gave you permission to splash cold water on my sauna, you damn fish face?
Kisame backs away, his aquatic advantage thoroughly dismantled and turned against him. Watching a man vaporize an ocean just because he was annoyed. Mei's heart skips a violent beat. He has had his shower. Now it's time to thoroughly break his opponent. The ocean is gone. The stage is clear. And the Prince of all Saiyans is just getting warmed up.
Bro, did he just vaporize an entire ocean? Guys, what is Mei thinking right now? Run or roast Vegeta? Comment below.
With her ultimate water jutsu evaporated in seconds, pure panic firmly grips Mei Terumi's heart. She knows standard ninjutsu won't leave a single scratch on him. It's time for the heavy artillery. Her hands blur through a deadly sequence, drawing out her absolute most lethal Kekkei Genkai. She gathers highly volatile chakra deep in her chest, converting it into pure, unadulterated molten earth. Lava release. A catastrophic torrent of liquid fire erupts from her lips, painting the entire battlefield red. The scorching magma surges forward like a tidal wave, instantly melting everything in its unstoppable path. Temperatures spike instantly. This isn't just fire, it's suffocating molten rock designed to consume perfectly. Vegeta doesn't even flinch. He just glares at the incoming apocalypse with absolute, royal boredom. The viscous magma crashes down hard, burying the Saiyan prince under hundreds of tons of liquid fire. Thick layers of molten rock swallow him whole, sealing the glowing warrior inside a scorching tomb. The entire crater transforms back into a bubbling lava pit, completely swallowing the golden anomaly. Mei drops to her knees, gasping for air, praying that her ultimate attack finally did the job. The superheated magma bubbles violently, radiating an unbearable heat across the newly reshaped wasteland. Quickly, the outer layer of the lava begins to cool, hardening into an impenetrable obsidian shell. A massive, pitch-black obsidian dome now stands where the Saiyan once was, permanently sealing his fate. Steam hisses off the dark, jagged rock. Silence falls over the battlefield once again. Kisame steps out from the lingering fog, a cruel, mocking grin stretching across his shark-like face. He rests his oversized blade on his shoulder, utterly amused by the Mizuki's desperate defensive effort.
Looks like your fancy firecracker got completely snuffed out, Mizukage. Good riddance.
But Mei doesn't smile. Her deep instincts scream that something is terribly, fundamentally wrong. A deafening crack echoes through the valley. A tiny fracture appears on the black dome. Blinding golden light violently pierces through the dark fissure, radiating brighter than the sun itself. Kisame's arrogant smirk vanishes instantly, quickly replaced by sheer, unadulterated dread. The fractures multiply, spreading like a glowing spiderweb across the supposedly indestructible obsidian prison. Rays of golden ki shoot out in all directions, turning the rock into a ticking time bomb. The sheer internal pressure makes the entire mountain range vibrate violently, defying all physical laws. Boom! The solid obsidian dome detonates, blasting massive chunks of black rock miles into the sky. As the dust clears, the ultimate flex is revealed. Vegeta is literally taking a bath in magma. His armor is gone, but his skin is flawless. He casually scoops boiling lava over his shoulders. He rubs his neck, relaxing his muscles in the lethal molten rock as if it were a spa.
Not bad. The temperature is decent, but the pressure is a bit weak for a real spa.
Mei's jaw drops. Her physics-based reality completely shatters. This man is no ninja, he is a god. Mei's entire worldview crashes hard. Watching a man treat her deadliest lava jutsu like a luxury hot tub completely breaks her shinobi reality. Even Kisame, a cold-blooded killer who laughs at death, feels the chilling grip of pure terror squeezing his lungs right now. But pure panic breeds desperate decisions. If raw ninjutsu is completely useless, he has to drain this monster's chakra source instantly. He absolutely refuses to accept defeat without a fight. His killer instincts scream at him to strike while the target is totally unguarded.
I don't care what kind of freak you are, man! My Samehada is gonna eat you alive!
He violently kicks off the jagged rocks, launching himself straight into the scorching heat of the bubbling lava pit with zero hesitation. Gripping the massive living blade, Kisame channels every ounce of his remaining strength into one final, desperate, all-or-nothing strike. Meanwhile, the prince doesn't even bother to open his eyes, entirely focused on the soothing warmth of the molten rock. The Akatsuki powerhouse descends like a striking shark, bringing the heavy, chakra-shredding sword down toward the Saiyan's unprotected neck. Samehada flares its jagged scales open, eagerly preparing to feast on what it assumes is a massive, delicious chakra pool. But the blade never even touches his skin. It violently slams into an invisible, hyper-compressed barrier of pure ki. A massive kinetic shockwave ripples across the magma pool, yet the prince remains completely and utterly unbothered. The living sword latches onto the barrier, instinctively attempting to drain the mysterious energy flowing right beneath the surface. A concentrated stream of golden life force rushes into the weapon, far thicker and heavier than any ninja chakra. For a split second, Kisame actually thinks he's won. He expects the arrogant stranger to immediately drop dead from total exhaustion. But then, the weapon begins to violently shake. The energy it just swallowed isn't chakra, it's raw, untamed cosmic power. Samehada rapidly swells up like a ticking bomb, completely unable to process or digest the violently dense and heavy ki. The tight bandages forcefully snap and tear apart as the living weapon rapidly expands far beyond its physical limits. The terrifying blade lets out an agonizing, high-pitched screech, practically begging to be disconnected from the endless energy source. Kisame's smirk gets completely wiped away. His ultimate weapon is literally choking to death on pure, raw power. The scales turn glowing red as the sheer friction from the overwhelming ki begins to physically burn the weapon alive. In a desperate bid for survival, Samehada forcefully vomits a geyser of rejected golden energy straight back out. The violent backlash acts like a massive point-blank explosion, blasting the shark man brutally backward through the smog. Kisame crashes heavily into the jagged obsidian, his hands severely burned and his prized weapon completely neutralized. The legendary Samehada lies pathetic and deflated, deeply traumatized by the sheer, unfathomable magnitude of the Saiyan's power. The explosion barely causes a ripple in the lava, but the chaotic noise finally manages to disrupt the prince's peaceful bath. He slowly cracks one eye open, an intense, piercing gaze cutting straight through the steam to lock onto his attacker.
Seriously? I'm trying to relax here. You're making way too much noise for a damn dead fish.
The complete and utter disrespect crushes the last shred of Kisame's pride. He finally realizes he just poked a sleeping god. The chakra system is completely obsolete. In the face of raw, primal cosmic force, even the absolute strongest shinobi are nothing. Stripped of his weapon and his pride, the monster of the hidden mist is reduced to a crawling, terrified insect. The prince doesn't even bother to stand up. He simply raises his hand to swat a bothersome fly. With zero effort, a lazy flick of the wrist generates a cataclysmic, world-ending physical force. Pure kinetic energy tears through the atmosphere, splitting the fiery lake in half as it rushes forward. The invisible wall of force hits Kisame like a runaway freight train, completely caving in his defenses. He is launched at supersonic speeds, his body obliterating an entire mountain peak without slowing down. A second mountain is pierced clean through. The sheer physical momentum is absolutely terrifying to witness. 3 mountains destroyed. The S-rank Akatsuki threat is completely wiped off the geographical map with a single slap. With the annoying noise permanently silenced, the prince decides his relaxing spa session is officially over. The deadliest liquid fire slides off his flawless muscles like mere bathwater, defying every law of nature. A simple piece of alien technology is tossed to the ground, bringing a fresh set of royal attire. Fully armored and completely untouched, he looks as pristine as if he had just stepped out of a palace. He adjusts his gloves with a sharp snap, the very picture of an apex predator completely at ease. His cold, piercing eyes finally drift back to the only other living soul left in the completely ruined crater. Mei freezes entirely. She holds her breath, bracing herself to be erased from existence just like Kisame.
Not a bad attempt at heating my bathwater, woman. But you'd better make it hotter next time.
With his savage critique delivered, the Saiyan prince decides this dimension has bored him enough for one day. He blasts into the heavens, tearing the clouds apart and leaving a massive sonic ring in his wake. Mei is left completely frozen. The sheer, overwhelming dominance of the alien warrior has entirely short-circuited her brain. Her weapon slips from her trembling fingers. The instinct to fight has been completely replaced by something else entirely.
He's absolutely perfect! I think I just found my future husband!
Whew, I can't even breathe right now. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. How is Akatsuki gonna react when they find out Kisame got deleted by a single slap? See you in the next one.